All right, guys. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to this brand new preview of the 2021 edition. So we're gonna go ahead and transition this over. What's going on, guys? PoliticsGaming here. Always got to do that really cringy intro. But anyway, we're going to be continuing on. We are actually nearing the midterm elections for Power and Revolution 2021. And it's going to, I want to see how midterms work. Probably going to be the same way. Probably going to be working the same way as they did in the previous editions. I just wanted to go ahead and play for a little bit with you guys. And then advancing a lot in this, let me actually go over to research. We're going to go to cooperation. We have actually been doing a couple of research agreements, and I've actually been able to get these to go through. So I just signed one not that long ago with Norway. We invest $2 billion jointly for the prime numbers formula. And then I also discovered stem cells with Italy. We invested $5 billion each for that. And then with Italy, we are investing $16 billion jointly for nuclear fission plants. We've actually lowered the deficit to 1.23%, which is a very good number compared to the 16% that we start off with. Go ahead and check our debt, see if we're going to be getting any surpluses this month. It looks like that instead of the $3.6 trillion deficit that we started off with, we now have just $4 billion. And as we get started here, guys, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new.
The preparation.
Jihadist Caliphate apparently assassinated some guy. Also reported a couple of bugs. So, this game won't be lasting, at least this save right here that I'm playing right now won't last that long. Again, we're about a month away from the midterm elections. Doubts concern.
This organization might be behind.
Watch this. This is Hurricane Alex is gonna disappear. Ew. I don't know why that happens. Some graphics glitch they haven't fixed. There we go.
Our infiltrated.
Okay. What's going on, Victory Chill? What's going on, Dan? What's going on? We were only issued $78 billion. This next quarterly loan seems to be about $200 million. And our deficit is actually under 1% now. Joachim, what's going on? Kanbaskaya? BFTH, I actually do not know what that is. Clear accident in TN13. Should we do it?
Our infiltrated scientific.
Should we mess with the Chinese to the point? Ah, come on. Oh. Hang on. Come on. Accidentally clicked off for some reason. Still find it very funny how you pronounce my name. How do I say it? How do I say it? Joachim. Battle for the Hill, new political sim. I have actually not.
Our infiltrated scientific...
They really, really... Okay, I'm going to go over to Secret Service. We're going to go over to CIA. We're going to go here, and we're going to... We're going to pull out of Vietnam, Thailand, Switzerland, Morocco, Israel. You know what? We're actually going to stay in Israel. Are you Norwegian? Do I just like their flag? Second person to notice the Norwegian flag. No, I actually got it from a subscriber of mine. He is Norwegian, so I liked it. I'm actually part Norwegian. So kind of. But no, a subscriber of mine gave it to me, and I just hung it up in my room. Okay, Argentina. We're gonna do political spying. Brazil, we're going to do political groups. We're gonna try to get Bolsonaro out. Maximo, what's going on? China, what are we going to be doing over in China? Cyber attack preparation. France, we are going to be doing political spying. India, we are going to be doing... I'm going to do political groups in India. Iran, we're going to do demolition of strategical objectives. North Korea. Cyber attack preparation. Then Israel. We're gonna do political spying. Come on. Israel political spying. Pakistan, we're going to be doing... What are our relations there? We're going to be doing... we're gonna do cyber attack preparation. Russia, cyber attack preparation. Venezuela, we're going to be doing... industrial sabotage. Let's do that. US needs a bag of 2%. 5% growth. Good, good, good. I also signed a couple of more free trade agreements in the absence. I signed one with the Philippines, South Korea, the United Kingdom, Mexico, Canada as well. The European Union apparently only wants to get, like, there's only $43 billion worth of goods that are traveling through the European American free trade agreement, so that's unfortunate. But my best free trade agreement as of right now, is with Japan, that has nearly $500 billion flowing through this agreement. Let's go ahead and try to see if we can get it to an economic and political agreement. That way we can try to squeeze as much as we can out of this free trade agreement. Highly doubt that we're going to be able to get it done. But in the meantime, we're also going to do 20,000 of these. Well, actually, let's do 10,000. It's going to be $32 billion. Let's go ahead and do 2,500 at the source. It's going to be $10 to $40 billion. We can get that done. Because apparently, all right, legislative elections, start of the campaign. House of Representatives, new political color, which as a legislative chamber will have the power to oppose your policy. Let's hope the votes are favorable to us in 26 days, and that Democratic Union will have the majority of seats. Needs a VAT of 2%. I actually have a VAT of 5% as of right now. That is my VAT. We're going to wait for the next poll to come out. All right, so it looks like the Republicans are in second place, and Party for the Defense of Nature seems to be doing a coalition. Can we do a coalition? Form a coalition of political parties. Let's do... Form a coalition has two distinct goals to increase the chances of winning in the presidential election. With one candidate for multiple parties or gain a majority in the national parliament to be able to lead the country with the legislative body in line of the government. Make up the coalition is complex. Parties cannot be too far apart politically. They must agree on a common political program and on the allocation of ministerial posts in the event one forms. Note that a coalition disbands after losing an election. Let's go ahead and suggest a coalition to the Greens. Our political and economic contract with Japan has failed. Your production of renewable energy is too small, your CO2 emissions per resident is too high, and your businesses enjoy a taxation that is too lenient, which creates a high risk of tax evasion in your country. Possible dialogue. We have agreed to discuss the formation of a coalition. We are now waiting for your offers for future ministerial posts for our party, and of course the development of a common political program. If we haven't reached an agreement within a month, we will withdraw. Can I... Which isn't going to cost. Campaign. Wow, $13 million. And we'll let the coalition fall apart. We're not gonna do that. Global Warming underachiever. We're gonna make this on the social media networks. Ooh, I can't wait for Twitter to be a thing on a Power and Revolution. %43 of the vote. Wow. 29, 42, 29, 18, and 9. What's going on, Can? Welcome to the live stream. Let's go ahead and look at the Betty Newt. She really, really likes me. So we're going to try to see if she can drop out of the election and just tell us and endorse us. Because if we can do that, we can literally get, like, more than enough majority in the House of Representatives. With God Inspire, you can play Greenland. Nope, you cannot play Greenland. Greenland is a dependency of Denmark. They're a part of Denmark, so you can't play Greenland. Like, they're a part of Denmark. It doesn't make sense for you to be able to play Greenland.
You're gonna... That's really...
Ask her to become your mistress. Oh, we got Bill Clinton.
I'm sorry.
Oh, damn it. She's not that corruptible. Unfortunately, she's not that corruptible. But wait, is she ready to start a relationship? Attracted to head of state 86, ready to start an extramarital relationship 59. The election should be on November 8th. Yep, 259 million voters. Head of state parties lead. Income. So it's Democrats, Republicans, and then the Greens. 43, so 44, 28, 19. God, 20% is going to the Greens. I don't know why the Greens have such a strong showing.
Good evening.
7% for the independents. 17.5 by 18% for the Greens. And 30% for the Republicans. And then 45. About 45% for the Democrats. So what are they doing so good on? So it's because of there's a lot of environmentalists. There's a lot of environmentalists. Montana, North Carolina. Apparently the Democrats won in North Carolina. Okay, let's read that newspaper. Capitol Hill remains faithful to the White House.
The preparation.
What's going on, Thomas? Welcome to the live stream. 56% turnout. That is a shocking drop from the previous election. Let's look at that. Oh! Oh! Woo! 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 Shit! Take a screenshot of that. Woo! 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 Man. It's a one beautiful map. But we got Texas Blue. Texas Blue by 2022. Arizona stays, Georgia stays. Ohio goes red. Maine apparently stayed red. What is Biden's health? What's his health? 63. Appreciations for my actions. Apparently they really like me socially. Got about half a term left. That is the midterms. When we have an Indian or Pakistani playthrough, I actually really want to do Pakistan. Let me look at their information real quick. $180 billion. They have national deficit. Ooh, 21%. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful.
Our sports.
Can you do the dictatorships now? Not in this stream. I want to play. Apparently, the United States is aeronautical construction now, finally. It's the fun thing about being a content creator. Everyone's just like, you know, the more times I ask them to do something, the more likely that they're gonna do it. Steal. Let's do $1 billion. World info. You want to be a boomer? I do. China, Japan, South Korea. Haha, there you are. Wait, I already have a free trade agreement with them. Russia, India. I don't have a free trade agreement with India. I have a balance of trade $2 billion. Who has the biggest balance of trade? China, unfortunately. So what's good new God and Spy 2021? I don't think there's anything new in God and Spy. Bottled water. We're gonna exonerate bottled water. What do you need? Plastics. Okay, I think we're good on plastics. Pharmaceuticals. What was that? Chemicals. You said chemicals. Wow, look at that. The United States owns 43% of the production of pharmaceuticals. But what if I wanted to go over to price reduction? Let's do a 5% decrease. And we'll do 10%. Reduce it. It'll cost only $15 billion. We can afford it. And that is the new Congress. We have Party for the Defense of Nature. So again, we're effectively still have a coalition. And we have a majority of seats with the coalition. Even though we didn't form a coalition, we still do have a coalition. Oh, chemical. Yeah, I keep forgetting chemicals. Chemical. Yeah, we are already giving them. Yeah, we're giving them $5 billion worth of subsidies. Because their trade balance is going down. I need to lower tariffs with someone. We already have a free trade agreement with Japan. South Korea. We could do South Korea. Taiwan. We already... I believe we have a... $7 billion. Canada, we already have a free trade agreement with. Italy is in the EU. We have a free trade agreement with the UK. Australia, Spain, Mexico, we already have. Let's go to... Let's go to Taiwan. I think with Taiwan... We have a contract with them. So let's up that to a global economic treaty. And that'll lower our tariffs with Taiwan. They actually have a lot of technology that we would like to get from them. So we're going to try to upgrade the free trade agreement with Taiwan to a global economic treaty. That way we can actually increase the amount of trade that we're getting between our countries. Coalition with Democratic Union, all that for nothing. Coalition's bill has been abandoned after negotiations went far too long. Mr. President, as far as media and public opinion is concerned, you'll be the one held responsible for this political failure. Not really a political failure. Contract has been accepted. We just accepted the free trade agreement between Taiwan and the United States, so that is good. We'll get more chemicals. We will have reduced tariffs between the United States and Taiwan. And then hopefully in the future we can actually improve it to a political and economic agreement. Watch out for growth. Yeah, I bet. So... We'll lose part of our sovereignty for the benefit of shameless multinationals. We're already taxing them. So they're worried about social dumping. What does the new free trade agreement just specifically do in this game? It makes it so trade is smoother without intervention, or do you still need contracts? It makes trade essentially smoother without contracts. So like, okay, so for example, like we were talking about chemicals. So if I wanted to go to... Let's look. Industry. We're gonna go to chemicals. What I was gonna do is whenever I went to World Info, you go ahead and you check to see, because you have a couple of options. For one, back in the edition before, we always had the option of creating a contract with them. That way, we could lower the price manually and try to get the what we wanted at a better price. And then two, what I was going to do is that I was going to go over to custom duties, and I was going to pick a country that had a good amount of which I actually still might do. So let's go ahead and check. So I'm going to show you exactly what I was going to do with Taiwan, but we already had a free trade agreement with them. So that I'll tell you why I improved it from a reciprocal to a global. So for example, I could go to Brazil. Brazil, for example. Let's go ahead and find Brazil on the map. We're going to click on them. We're going to go to custom duties. And then I was going to just imagine this is Taiwan. I was going to go to Brazil. I was going to go to Taiwan, and I was going to reduce their customs duties. Essentially, what a free trade agreement does, whenever you make negative % tariffs, it's not like, oh, you're basically like making negative tariffs. Basically, negative tariffs is exactly what a free trade agreement does. It's a reduction in the tariffs. So if I wanted to, for chemical industries, I could completely eliminate tariffs for chemicals coming in from Brazil. So that's exactly what a free trade agreement does, because if I actually go to the free trade agreement between me and Taiwan, then it'll say, affected sectors anything with the quota on certain products considered strategic by the partner country, and then tariffs are greatly reduced by 80%. So what I had before was it's limited to the portions of partners' dominant sectors, and then tariffs are reduced by 50% on average. The control of goods at the borders are light, and then there are no regulations. A global economic treaty does this. It affects anything with the quota on a certain product considered strategic by the partner. So it's going to be like some of the it's going to be the biggest sectors in Taiwan, except it's also going to add a lot more sectors into it. And then it also reduces not from 50%, but it's going to reduce it to 80% of tariffs. So that means I'm not paying as much as I should, because I think even with the contract, without a free trade agreement, you're still paying, the tariffs, and that's what goes into the price of importing it is the tariffs. It's a lot of other things. And there are actually regulations with this global economic treaty. So the regulations is compliance with security and health regulations imposed by the partner for incoming products. And then we also have access to the member's public market, and then recognition of the country of origin labeled by the partner, which would essentially piss off the Chinese if this was real life. So essentially, free trade agreements are actually one of the best features that have been added into the games in a long time, because this basically allows you to make smoother international trade between you and any other partner. But if you don't want to make a free trade agreement, because you're against it or something like that, you can kind of go. For example, I can go to bauxite. I can go to custom duties, and I actually have this already set. I have reduced custom duties coming in from Brazil for the product of bauxite by 60%. I could actually lower it to 70% because they're actually not going to accept the free trade agreement. So you can do this by saying, if you're not going to accept the free trade agreement, I'm still going to allow you to import. I'm still going to allow you. I'm going to allow my country to import your product specifically at a lower price. Why is a decreased tariff good? If you know what a tariff is essentially a excise tax on a product that is being imported into. I need to stop hitting my mic. Into your country. That is what a tariff is. I believe they taught you this in like 8th grade. What do you call it? History. So it's essentially basically you're just making the product easier to buy whenever it's coming into your country. That is the point of a tariff. Is that you can make it more expensive, so that's called protectionism whenever that happens. Is that you're making it more expensive for you to import that product to allow for more domestic production. I am actually a huge protectionist whenever it comes to trade, whenever it comes to like real life. But in game, I'm gonna play a little bit more liberally because I at least just the way the game kind of works. And I've done this in a couple other games. I always usually play a little bit more liberally. I'm signing a bunch of free trade agreements. I'm lowering tariffs. I'm I'm basically playing way more like a liberal than I really am in real life. So that's why you see me, a right winger, you know, doing a lot more liberal actions in this game. I'm gonna go ahead and try to secure the sector though. The game also seems to favor playing more liberally too. So yeah, I've actually noticed that about the game. It doesn't bother me that much. There is a lot of liberal inclinations in this game, but I don't know. I mean, it doesn't it doesn't punish you for playing the other way. It doesn't punish you. Solar orbiter. Okay. So actually, let's go ahead and do this by GDP. So if you're actually wondering, I'll go ahead and explain these options for the free trade agreements. So this is the organization itself. There's actually a bug whenever you try to make these better. It makes it the game now thinks that you're trying to negotiate with the European Union. So if I actually wanted to make the North American Free Trade Agreement a what do you call it? A global economic contract, it thinks that I'm trying to negotiate with the European Union. I seriously feel like that between the United States and the European Union, there's this huge bug that doesn't allow you to sign it with them, or at least the global economic contract. And I mean, look, I'm making more off of my free trade agreement with Taiwan, Mexico, Indonesia, Australia, South Korea, Canada, the United Kingdom, and Japan than I am from a 28 or $16 trillion economy in Europe. Like, the European Union, there's only $43 billion moving between this trade contract. Effectiveness is essentially how effective this contract is, and how important this contract is. It looks like that the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Organization is the most effective out of this entire list that we see right here. They're actually it's kind of like on par with the North American Free Trade Agreement. Let's actually see, yeah. So it's the Asia Pacific, and then it's the NAFTA agreement. And then we have GDP. So essentially GDP, I actually had a couple of questions about this at first, but GDP is essentially how much product, how much money is moving through this, how much money, how much product is counted under this free trade agreement. Me Too Cinematic kind of tilted me. Yeah, there's a lot of liberal inclinations in this game. So, for example, there is the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Organization is $4.7 trillion moving through that. I actually need to see how big the GDP of that is. $2.2 trillion for the North American Free Trade Agreement, and then $482 billion is moving between the United States and Japan alone. And then I have all of these that are treaties. I actually have 6 global economic contracts, and then 3 contracts. And the lower, so if I actually go to Taiwan, for example, you have 3 of these. You have a reciprocal commercial contract, you have a global economic treaty, and then you have an economic and political agreement pact. So reciprocal commercial contract is essentially, it's kind of dealing with the most dominant sectors of the countries that are in the contract. And again, the differences between this is that it's limited to the partners' dominant sectors. Tariffs are reduced by half. Control of goods at the border is light. They don't really they see it coming in, whatever. There are no regulations. Global Economic Treaty is essentially like like a more in tune negotiated contract. An affected sectors is anything with quota on certain products considered strategic by a partner. I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna work with some in the community this weekend. I'm gonna try to do it this weekend. And we're going to go through and try to see which sectors are affected by each contract. Because the first one is very self-explanatory. The other two kind of weird. And then our regulations, so they comply with security and health regulations imposed by the partner for incoming products. And then we also have access to each other's markets, so we basically can look at each other's market and buy and sell whatever we want. And then we have recognition of country of origin label, which is basically like, made in China, made in Taiwan, made in Japan, made in the United States, blah, 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 blah. Economic and political agreement. Essentially, this is exactly what a global economic contract is, but we also have fiscal harmonization, we have fight against social dumping, we have intellectual property protection, so basically we can't steal each other's copyrights. And then we have observance of human rights and working conditions, and then we also have ecology compliance. Essentially, if you actually remember between the European Union, if you guys were paying attention to that whole trade dispute between the European Union and the United Kingdom after the United Kingdom had left, that was a dispute about a free trade agreement that was similar to this. This is basically where both countries come together and say, like, we know there's a lot of social dumping, we know there's a lot of fiscal harmonization. We need to figure out fiscal harmonization. We know there's a lot of social dumping. We know there's a lot of different. So it's basically the political entities coming together, knowing there's an issue, and then making a political agreement off of it. That is what this is. It's basically, we know it's basically the thing that you go to. It's like the highest level, and you basically say, like, let's come together and then let's try to figure this out, because we trade a lot with each other. And this is actually what I want to do with Japan, because I know that the United States and Japanese economies are extremely close together, and I would like to, that is my end goal, to try to sign an economic and political agreement pact with Japan.
The bill has been...
Apparently, I'm really close to Costa Rica right now. Good night from Spain. A question: is it possible to sign a free trade agreement with playing as a European country? No, you have to sign it with like, if you're in the European Union, you have to sign it as the European Union. I'm gonna go ahead and step away. I have a phone call. I'm gonna go ahead and answer that, and I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Go ahead and switch us back over. We're going to go ahead and stream for another 15 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and have to head out. So I'm going to try to shoot for another live stream tonight. So, spin exit. Yep. Essentially, basically, and the characters in the game actually kind of tell you, saying, like, if you want to, sign your own free trade agreements with other countries, you're going to have to leave the European Union. That is an option. So, essentially, if you want to take over your own trade, you're going to have to leave the European Union. Essentially, one reason why the United Kingdom actually left is because they didn't want to. They wanted to take over on their own trade. They didn't want, someone else mediating for them. Essentially, if I want to sign a political agreement with Japan, I actually am going to have to be forced to increase the company tax. So we're going to increase the company tax by about 5%. And how will that be reacted to? Let's go ahead and increase it by about 5%. Looks like both houses of Congress will do that. We also get another $100 billion. We're going to do 25%. Biden actually wants to do it to 27%, but just because we know there's going to be a lot of economic growth that is going to be lost because of this increase in the company tax, we are going to stick with 25.
The bill has been...
Looks like we nationalized the bauxite sector. We're actually going to try to nationalize it fully. Let's see. Next quarterly loan seems to be about $2.3 billion. It's going to be a record low in the amount of money that we have ever incurred. Hopefully we can actually maybe get a little bit into the Treasury Reserve. I really want to start paying off my debt because there is a worrying amount of debt. If I actually see go over to Brazil, we have 6 years to pay off this loan. We're getting the interest rate down, which is good. And we looks like we actually paid off about $1 billion of it. But at the same time, we have about $16 billion in interest. I mean, that's pretty good. But we have 6 years to pay it off. I would like to get that down, and I would like to get somewhere, at least $300 billion, at least the amount of that, and I would like to pay off that debt because that is the lowest amount of years. Actually, we have a lot of countries that we owe debt to within 6 years, which I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to do it. I want to see what happens whenever you're not able to pay off those loans within that amount of time. Actually, let's go. Let me check. I'm gonna invite this guy over. Can we extend the amount of years that we have to pay off those loans? Oh, that electricity surplus is seriously making me mad because it's like we're running out of it so fast. Literally invest so much money into these nuclear power plants. The nuclear isn't even considered renewable.
Very kind. Sure. You're not... Very well. What kind of offer do you wish to make us? Very well.
Thanks. $4 billion. Yeah, it's going up. So we're going to invest in another 10 nuclear power plants. All these money moves by Politics Gaming. This is exactly how you get yourself out of a rut. Because I had a couple of issues with this. It's just like, because you're just coming out of basically a depression in the beginning of this game, and then now the economy is doing nothing but growing, and the economy is doing nothing but growing now, and it's taking a huge toll on my electricity production. So then I have to spend upwards of more than $1 trillion to stop my country from. And this is just the United States. I mean, this is a challenge in itself. It's just like, hey, try to like balance like 50 things at once before your country runs out of electricity, or, you know, like something. So we're basically going to be investing in another 20 nuclear power plants. Is that the Sequoia plant? Where's Sequoia? Aha, there you are. We got another 20 on the way, and then let's go ahead and invest in 200 hydroelectricity plants all over the country. We're going to do 33 geothermal plants. How much manpower do we have left? A lot. CO2 emissions seem to have topped off and are now heading on our way down. Apparently my life expectancy, by the way, is at like 92 years, 95 years. Look at that. Look at that, 95 years. That's mainly because my causes of death all just kind of like just shot down, because apparently people stopped dying of heart disease and all that. 16%, 21%, 3G nuclear power plants make more expensive electricity. It seems to be so in my games. Session in Bud Hannaford. We still have only about $5 billion in our next quarterly low. Stop.
Our team was not able to go further.
Aww. Creation of robotic emotion.
The terrorist.
The bill has...
Earthquake. End of search. Japan discovers television. Flushing. It's the election. Founding values. Increase company contributions. It's a barrier to our business's competitiveness. For the sake of our economy, it'd be better to revise our work and to swing to the right. Apparently, the Democrats like to protect businesses instead of.
The thing.
Finances. What's my economic growth doing? Got 3%. Let's get right into the news. Yeah, that won't do that good for the economy. But let me see if 25% is a good amount for Japan to say that that is good for the free trade agreement. Let's go over here, economic and political agreement. I bet it's going to be 25%. Unless they're going to try to get me to swing it up to like 40%, because I'm not going to do that. But usually they say that your country is basically a tax haven, so you need to increase your business taxes. Light injunction, I don't care. Price of electricity, where is it at? Surplus. The economy grew by nearly 4%, $25.7 trillion. Healthy housing situation, 5%. These are good.
The
Need to
theory
keep
that
going. Contract rejected. Mission failure of Lucy. Oof. Hurricane. Taking care of ecology and... Yep, that did it. So it's 25%. So then... Production of renewable energy is too small and your CO2 emissions are too high. So we literally just need to increase the amount of renewable energy that we have, which is going to be impossible compared to what nuclear power is doing for us. And we need to reduce our CO2 emissions. Otherwise, we are good for a political agreement. Okay, what's my economic growth doing now? 4%. Attention to literacy. Hurricane. Budget deficit at 2%. I'd look at this. Mr. President, our numbers for the past year we are ready, and I can now give you the new figures relating to state debt. Therefore, our public debt says the engagements of the state in terms of loans rises to $30.4 trillion. The debt service or annual debt reimbursement level will rise by the new year to $1.2 trillion. Annual reimbursement level is $1.24 trillion. Wow. Finally, the most significant figure, our budgetary deficit has risen to 2.23%. Oh, Facecam PG, what's going on, Tripster? What's going on? Nice job cutting that budget deficit, by the way. Yeah. I am still trying to cut this debt. Oh, look at that. Next quarterly surplus, $139 billion. What is my structural deficit? Let's go. Budgets. Drop down. And structural deficit is 0.26%, but my budget deficit is $725 billion. But compared to $3.2 trillion, that is still good. That is still good. I tried to make a free trade agreement with Afghanistan, and they were just like, if you're trying to make free trade agreements with like very small countries, and you're like the United States or you're like a huge economy or something like that, they're going to be like, no, we're not going to do that. I wanted to make a free trade agreement with Turkey, but I also don't see the reason for that. I don't really know what kind of resources they have that I would need specifically. I feel like their economy is way too small for the United States. Yeah. I don't know why. some reason it's like some gut feeling that was just like, I really want to sign a free trade agreement with Turkey, but I also don't want to sign a free trade agreement with Turkey. You guys have any good experience signing free trade agreements with Turkey, let me know. But otherwise, I really do not want to sign one with Turkey. At least until Erdogan is out of there. Erdogan goes, hell yeah, I'll sign one with them. Costa Rica, is this your economic? Oh, okay, so it's strategic. Let's go ahead and create an alliance with us. Let's do a support agreement. Send that over. I'm pretty sure they will accept that. Again, we're pretty protectionist whenever it comes to that. We can even sign a free trade agreement with them. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't want to sign one with me. Yep, strategic agreement has been made. So we are now allies with Costa Rica. Let's see. Indonesia, great. Main allied countries. How much is Power and Revolution 2021 for Power and Revolution 2020 owners? And do you have God and Spy mode again? It is $20 for if you have the previous edition. And if you have God and Spy in a previous edition, they will give it to you. You just have to email them. Hey dude, I know you hate the comments, but can you do a new economy guide, but with tariffs changed, free trade agreements, etc., all that added, there will be a lot of different stuff to get a hang of. I could do I won't do economic tutorial 4.0, because I feel like the economic tutorial 3.0 is edited enough and just it's good enough to where you should be able to watch that and then compile it with a video after that is specifically about free trade agreements, about the changes in the 2021 edition. I will look into making a video like that. So I'm gonna start, and that's why I've been playing a lot of it. I already have 12 hours on this game. So I'm still learning. And I'm going to be working with the community. I'm going to be talking to people. I'm going to be doing research. And once I do have that research done, then I will start planning a video. But otherwise, I am still learning. Everyone is still learning. The game just came out. They may have a couple of changes in the future. And then I will make a video on it. So look forward to that. But as of right now, it is still in the learning phase. It is still in the learning phase. Oh yeah, that's totally fair, but that sounds great, thanks. You're welcome. But I appreciate the suggestion because I have been wanting to do that. Of course, there is a lot of things to get the hang of in this new edition. There's a lot of new... honestly, I would just have to like redo my diplomacy tutorial because I made a diplomacy tutorial. Maybe that's what Eversum watched to even come up with the diplomacy update, because they were just like, diplomacy tutorial. Let's go ahead and do a diplomacy update. And yeah, I really like it this edition. There's a lot more diplomatic options that you have. Truly make this a geopolitical simulator instead of just, just like signing contracts and stuff. Now you don't even like the biggest interaction between you and another country isn't just contracts. You don't even have to turn to contracts anymore. You can just sign a free trade agreement, and then that does the contracting for you. That's the thing about free trade agreements, is that it is basically it's a contract, but it does exactly what you would want it to do for you. Target Russia and China. Haha, I would. Banning high carbon electricity, reducing energy consumption, and yeah, how do I do that? I would love to do that because I can't just keep spending over $1 trillion every time my energy starts to close up, because I want to slow this down. And by doing that, I'm pretty sure they're meaning that I need to slow down economic growth. Target Russia and China for a free trade agreement. No, not as the United States. Not as the United States. I will target everyone around these countries with free trade agreements, but I will not target specifically Russia and China for a free trade agreement. That is a no-go on my part. Hell, I need to sign one with Ukraine. But I have been streaming for an hour, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to shoot for another stream later today. There's a lot more that we need to do. We actually will probably be able to do a presidential election in this gameplay. But guys, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you guys want to see more content like this, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss anything from this channel. I will definitely be telling you guys a lot more about the 2021 edition. I will be doing a lot of research, trying to see what types of tutorials that I can make in the future. I do definitely want to make more tutorials for you guys. I know those are very, very popular whenever you guys see those. But if I don't stream today, later today, I will try to stream tomorrow and at the latest Monday. So look forward to those streams. And guys, I'll try to see you guys later. And if not, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. And thank you guys so much. Take care.